Some trends look flashy on your feed until they land you in the hospital, the courthouse, or stranded with a useless bike. Every year, riders fall for popular motorcycle fads that compromise safety, control, or even ownership itself. These aren't just bad ideas, they're dangerous, expensive, and misleading. In this video, we're calling out 7 of the most harmful trends gaining traction in the riding world. Whether you're a beginner or a veteran, here's what to avoid before it costs you big on the road. Number 1. Pay-to-play features and demo modes. Imagine buying a motorcycle only to find that key features like traction control or cruise control disappear after a trial period. Sounds dystopian, right? Unfortunately, this is now a reality. Some manufacturers preload bikes with advanced features, but disable them after a few hundred miles, unless you pay extra. You're essentially buying a half-functional bike and renting the rest. Even worse, if a payment fails or a glitch occurs, you might lose access to safety features mid-ride. This practice treats riders as subscription holders, not owners, and it turns motorcycles from machines of freedom into locked-down devices that demand constant payments. No one should have to worry about software limitations while leaning into a corner. Basic riding functions like stability control, quick shifters, or navigation should come standard if advertised. If you're paying full price for the bike, you should get the full bike. Number 2. MotoGP winglets on street bikes. Winglets and fancy aero bits are all over modern superbikes. Inspired by MotoGP, manufacturers bolt on little airplane wing shapes to their fairings, claiming they increase downforce and stability. They do work in racing. On track at 150+ miles per hour, winglets can reduce wheelies and add grip. But on public roads, the effect is minimal and largely aesthetic. As one expert pointed out, as soon as speed drops, the wind force drops, so at normal highway or city speeds, the downforce is nearly negligible. In practical terms, you're paying extra for weight and complexity without a real benefit. And if their main purpose is to suppress wheelies or put more power down, why perform wheelies on public roads in the first place? That defeats the safety rationale entirely. Active aerodynamic systems are even in development, which shows how far this is from utility. Riding on the street, you'd gain much more by investing in quality tires and suspension setup than on stickers of MotoGP tech. We're not against cool looks. Winglets do look badass, but remember, form follows function. If you want a sporty style, fine. But don't buy winglets expecting them to change your everyday ride. Know that unless you're heroically thrashing on a closed track, they're mostly for show. Number 3. Adventure and scrambler bikes. That can't adventure. Adventure bikes are in fashion, and retro scramblers are everywhere, but most of them are built for pavement, not dirt. Yes, they have knobby tires and high exhaust pipes. But under the styling, many so-called ADV or scrambler bikes are heavy, under-suspended, and tuned for street riding. Try to ride one through real trails or muddy hills, and you'll quickly find their limits. High weight, limited suspension travel, and poor traction can make off-roading with these bikes dangerous, especially for newer riders. Marketing loves to show these bikes leaping rocks and splashing through streams. But the truth is, they struggle outside smooth gravel. If you're serious about off-road riding, look for purpose-built dual sports or true adventure models. Think lighter frame, taller suspension, and wider bars, not just a cosmetic makeover. Otherwise, you risk being stranded off-road with a bike that was never built for it. Buying a bike that only looks like it can go anywhere is one trend that needs to stop fooling riders. Number 4. Stunts on public roads. It's impossible to ignore. Your feed is full of wheelies, stoppies, no-hands riding, and high-speed lane weaving. Most of it happens on public roads. And while it might rack up views, it's also racking up deaths, arrests, and injuries. Young riders, especially, are tempted to mimic these stunts without proper training or safety gear. Cities report spikes in illegal stunt riding and crashes involving minors or unlicensed riders. And these aren't just isolated incidents. Some areas are dealing with entire night crews turning public roads into stunt arenas. Let's be clear. Stunts are a legitimate skill on a closed course. But when done in traffic, around pedestrians, or at high speeds, they become reckless endangerment. Worse, they reinforce the stereotype that all riders are irresponsible. This social media stunt culture puts lives and reputations at risk. The safest, most skilled riders often go unnoticed because they ride clean, controlled, and smart. Number 5. Ear-splitting exhausts. Myth. Many riders believe a louder exhaust makes them safer by alerting drivers. But here's the problem. The sound travels behind you, not in front where most accidents happen. Studies and real-world cases show that loud pipes don't consistently reduce crashes. Instead, they often irritate the public, trigger stricter laws, and give all riders a bad name. Cities around the world are cracking down on noise violations, and getting caught with illegal decibel levels can mean hefty fines or even impoundment. Beyond legal risks, excessively loud bikes can startle nearby drivers, making them more unpredictable, not safer. Plus, long-term exposure to high decibel exhausts can damage your own hearing. Riding should be thrilling, not deafening. Want to be noticed? Wear high-vis gear, position yourself strategically in traffic, and use your horn when it counts. A deep, tuned exhaust tone is great, but turning your motorcycle into a rolling siren isn't. Noise should never replace good riding technique. This is one trend that needs to die for good. Number 6. Overdone custom mods. Customizing bikes is fun up to a point. The trend of extreme low-slung choppers, ultra-long swing arms, or minimalistic street fighters often looks striking in photos, but many such mods compromise real-world safety and performance. As Viking Bags notes, flashy builds appear impressive on the internet, but end up unsafe in daily use. For example, adding a very long swing arm and slammed suspension may look violent, but it slows steering response and makes cornering clumsy. Removing even one front brake is incredibly dangerous. That single brake provides the bulk of stopping power. These kinds of sacrifices for style can cost lives. Other common mods that harm safety include cutting fog lights or removing mirrors. Without mirrors or turn signals, other road users literally can't see you. And if you lower the rear end too much, your custom bike will scrape engine parts on every corner. A pleasing deep exhaust tone or a small fairing can look good without ruining function. Always ask, does this mod help me ride better or just look better? If it's only for show at the expense of braking, suspension, or visibility, it's a trend that needs to die. Number 7. Tech overload. Today's bikes are increasingly packed with features. Fancy LCD screens, multiple ride modes, traction control, smartphone apps, etc. While some tech like ABS brakes and traction control does enhance safety, the trend of adding every new gadget and forcing riders to use it can backfire. Manufacturers often brag about high-tech dashboards and built-in apps, but most riders barely scratch the surface of those features. The downside? Complexity and cost. Every extra electronic system is another point of potential failure. When something goes wrong, it often requires dealer-only diagnostics or expensive repairs. For a new rider, a barrage of options can be overwhelming. Is it really safer to have 5 ride modes and menu-driven settings if you're learning basic control? Many experienced riders note that excessive electronics can even dull the feel of throttle or brakes. Some bikes now force you to subscribe or log into apps just to use navigation or other functions. That blends into the next trend of paywalls for features. As Viking Bags warns, motorcycles should be machines you own outright, not devices you rent in monthly installments. Any system that complicates or frustrates riders more than it helps is a trend to rethink. So if you want to learn tricks, take it to a track day, stunt school, or safe location. The rest of us on the road didn't sign up to be part of your viral video. Let's end this dangerous trend before it ends someone's life.